Okay, I'm gonna finish on my laptop, so hopefully you know, I can get this done because my phone is running out of data. But as I said, I was, like I said, not only being burdened as a female, but also as a brown girl, knowing that, as far as to my knowledge, my ancestors did not have the freedom of their body to partake in the type of sexuality that this young lady and even the gentleman were engaged in. And, of course, because that wasn't the focus. Their focus was survival. Their sexuality was tied into producing a commodity for someone else to use, another slave, another piece of cattle. And it was always conflicting to me, especially as, whatever I can say, being African American or part whatever. Again, like I said, I'm in the gray spectrum. I've got other stuff. I don't outright, because I have my own issues saying that right now, because I'm not happy with the culture has never embraced me, and just put it that way. Okay, I even dubbed it the Mariah Carey complex, and even she, in one of her articles, stated that until she had her children, she was never really fully loved or accepted. And that's how I feel, because I have similarities as far as my complexion to her and people's reaction. To me, I'm not embraced and never will be by Caucasians, and I might even be shunned or even a little used. Whereas with blacks, I might be somewhat accepted, but they're definitely looking to me, and forgive me, I don't care, but just, it's been a using, I don't care. It's always been a using type scenario. Or maybe not even a pedestalization, but the realization, or maybe the thoughts in their head thinking that something in my life is better because I'm on the paper bag spectrum, whatever bullshit is in this fucking country. But it's like, the point is this. That's why I say I'm in the gray, because I'm with neither. At this point, I don't care. And it's just like the young lady in the video that I was watching. She was very similar in my complexion. She did have more, I think, Asian feature, but she was a mix. Whatever. It does not matter. The point is this, is like, there was an ambiguity where I could see myself in her, or at least in the desire that I wanted to be desired, but my body doesn't look like hers anymore. And to me, then it became depressing, because it's like, when I was skinny, I wasn't even having good sex. I wasn't having any sex. Nothing was happening for me. It was just, oh, you're a nigger or you're black and nobody's going to touch you. And that's pretty much was the reality. So it's like, then you sit here and you're like, you're waiting all this time to be, with somebody, because you believe in a deeper love, so you can express those type of facets of your sexuality. And then it's just like, we just don't have that type of marriage success in the BC. We just don't have it. Okay, it's just a trickle down effect from slavery. And I even say, even in romance, it's not genuine anymore. Once you realize, like from those movies, The Wood, or what is it, the brothers, what's the one with Morse Chestnut and all them dudes? God, I forgot that movie. But the one where they're getting married, I think, what's her face is in it, Nia Long. um you realize those guys are all married to Caucasian or other, or not, black women or whatever else. And then you're like, these dudes, they don't even want us. Like, what the hell are we here for? So it becomes a nihilistic type of thinking, where first you're burdened with slavery and your responsibility to the response of it, and you know what I'm saying? But then you're still stuck in a Caucasian type of world or thinking, where they get to be free. They get to do drugs. They get to mess with everybody, group sex, all this crap that wasn't even in your thinking or in your brain. Excuse me, because you've got people like, Sojourner and Harriet and Rosa that you're looking up to, and you're not thinking of them in that spectrum of sex. You see what I'm saying, of sexuality, because they have a moral type of aptitude that you're trying to achieve, especially as a brown girl or a gray girl, which I am. And it's just like, but then you sit here and you're like, I still, you know what I'm saying? I've never felt sexy. I've never felt desired. Excuse me. It's like, when you realize that sex eventually is a part of your life as far as that need or that wanting, you know, and I didn't have a sexuality before the betrayal. I didn't have it. And because I was burdened with so many other messages, so many messages of less than, you're other, you're slave, you're servant, you're just nothing. That when your humanness comes, or not even when you're dehumanized, excuse me, when the betrayal happens and you become dehumanized, or you're dehumanized and the betrayal happens, then you're extra dehumanized, then that small facet of your humanity starts to rear its head. It's like, okay, when I was younger and hotter, nobody cared. Nobody gave a damn about me. That's the truth. So it's like, I'm sitting here and it's like, now that I'm old, it's just like, because I don't know, it's just, there was a depression, there was a cloud there. And you were always looking for something, I don't know, I guess it was weighing over your head that you always wanted a type of like freedom. You were looking for a type of freedom where you didn't have the trauma from your ancestors. And that's really what it was. You had to get rid of that before you can be a sexual being. At least I know for us brown girls, for us African Americans, whatever, who came from the diaspora, who came from the slave trade. That's why I can say, I can't speak for any other brown girls like Indians or Mexicans, whatever. I can't speak for them. But for as far as black ancestry, dealing with that, ADOS, whatever, it's just like, that is the burden. You're not full human. You're pretty much cattle when you get to this country. These immigrants get to come, then they get to become humanized, okay? But slaves, no, that's a different line of point of access into this country. So, like I said, when I was younger, growing up, you don't have that sex. You get brief glimpses of that sexuality. But again, my shade, my skin tone is on the spectrum where I don't, like I said, I call it, you either get you're fully brown, or if you're browner than me, you get that insulation of groupthink, just like with the Caucasian. But if you're in that medium spectrum, somebody's always picking at you. Someone's always picking at you. So that's that extra layer. So it's like, yeah, black people, they can link up and have sex. White people link up, they have sex. Mexicans, they link up, they have sex. Asian, whatever. But it's like, if you're in that in-between spectrum, it's a lot harder than people realize. Because for one, they're trying to box you. Then two, if they're not trying to box you, they're trying to reduce you. I don't know what they're trying to do. But I've experienced it a lot where it's like they're just unwelcoming. So it's like, if they're unwelcoming because you're on a spectrum, it's almost like being autistic. Then it's like, how am I supposed to express myself sexually? And I might have some autism. I've been thinking about it. I might have some Asperger's. I don't know. But I know there's something wrong with me. I know I was more visual. I know because I had so less communication. And just like now, I'm talking to a camera because there's nobody to discuss this with. Okay, trust me. My deepest moments ain't nobody around. I talk to the people who are dead in my brain. Those are my therapists. Because ain't nobody living I really give a F about, and I don't care. But it's like, that's what it is, or the realization, again, for myself. It's like, your burden as far as a black girl or whatever, you're just burdened with inhumaneness. And but you're still on that spectrum that if you're in the darker range or whatever, or in the regular, if you're in the Sojourner Harriet range, whatever, you still have that inclusivity because of that shared skin tone and whatever. But when you start getting to even the Rosa Parks, she got flat. She's a lighter hued woman. People are a little irritated with that social justice movement because, she was the face of that, back to the bus, whatever. And I guess the younger black girl was, who had experienced it first before Rosa. But it's like, again, even in the black community, even in the BC, they think lighter hue compatriots freaking get more. They think there's favoritism, and I'm sick of it. I've never seen favoritism. I just not whatever. It's like, to me, it's like, how is there favoritism and Rosa was at the back of the bus? Do you see how it don't make no sense? She's still at the back. She's still black. So what difference does it make? Somebody's always gonna spit in your face regardless. So it's like, we got that freaking. They want to sit there and say, oh, you got light-skin privilege or all this crap. And I'm like, but she was at the back of the bus. So start explaining to me where the privilege happens, huh? Where does it start beginning? Because I haven't seen it. At the end of the day, I know what's going to happen. I know who's in chains. And I'm going to be right there with them. So it's like, get off of that. Excuse me, I need to drink some water. But I just realized that. And I realized the sadness that, one, I'm never going to be desired by a man. I'm never going to be skinny again. I'm never going to look like this chick. And I never want to look like any chicks. But literally, she was perfect in her ambiguity and just everything that I've always wanted to be. I think it was the freedom. And it was not the freedom to do porn and do any of that crap. It was the freedom and desirability. She doesn't have that burden of shackles of the ancestry of having to honor them. She can get naked in front of the camera and do whatever she wants to do. But I can't do that. Because in real life, nobody gives a crap about me anyways. So why the F am I going to sit here and pretend like I let a bunch of guys come in here and touch me? If people are spitting in my face when I wake up daily. It's like, it don't make no sense. So I think that's what the reality came to me. It was just like, nothing matters because you're not skinny. You're never going to be skinny. When you was skinny, nobody gave a F about you. Now that you're fat and ugly, it's even worse. So I don't know. That was just my rant. And it went from the reality of slavery as a black girl, gray girl growing up, to now the reality of death. Because that's all I see around. It's just nothing but death. So now, now I know I don't matter. And I never did matter. But the point is this. I don't matter to the spectrum as far as the only thing I have to look forward to now is death. And I know that, which is fine for me. Excuse me, because I'm ready to go. Because when I look around me, other people have life. I don't have life anymore. I don't have joy. I don't have life. I don't even have a sexuality. I have a need. I have a physical response to a neglect, but it's deeper than that. I don't think I'll fully be healed until I leave this earth, because I realize that the type of hatred and negativity and the PTSD from that response that I've had, either I'm going to need years of therapy, which I'm not going to pay for, and I'm not going to sit here and talk to nobody other than this camera, which anybody can look at and say, whatever. But at least it's free and it's there and it's real. I'm not going to go to pay somebody or talk to somebody who I know isn't going to give two craps about me. I've tried it. I've tried to walk in, and people, they don't have empathy for me. Girls like me, there's no empathy for. Even girls like in that chick, ain't nobody going to have empathy for her too. If she doesn't, if she gets married, which some guys said, oh, I'll marry her and whatever, because of course she's got that porn look and whatever. But it's like, she might not want to be attached to that. She might want to have a regular marriage. But the point is, some man still desires her enough to marry her. Me, it's not going to happen. But the point is this, regardless of whatever, people are not going to give empathy to her because somebody's going to think, well, somebody's going to want you. Okay? The point is, I'm on the spectrum where somebody could have wanted me, but now it's too late. And nobody had empathy for me then when I sort of looked like somewhat of her physically. They damn sure ain't going to give a fuck about me now. So to me, death is my only release. And when you see it all around you, it's just a waiting game. So I don't know. I just had a good cry and I realized, desirability is only reserved for Caucasian or brown women who are on the spectrum of other than black. And that's just the reality. I see it. I'm very awake to how black women are looked at. I'm very aware. I'm very aware. I'm hyper aware. And that's how I know that I'll never touch another human being again. I'll never open myself to a man physically ever again, because I know that I'm never going to be what he wants. I'm never going to be beautiful. I'm never going to look like her. When I did, nobody still wanted me. So what difference does it make? Death is the only release. And I just be wishing it came sooner than later, because just sitting here looking at this world, and yet the sun's up, and it looks like it's gonna be a nice Friday. I don't give a fuck because there's nobody I want to see. There's nobody I'm gonna talk to. There's nobody that